This is Coach Joshua. I'm here with Claire, and this is her ROM Coach assessment. Claire, tell us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a movement coach here in Vancouver Island. I do personal training, client small group personal training. I'm also a high performance athlete. I do dragon boat racing, so I probably do about 4 strength training sessions a week, a few water sessions a week as well as some erg sessions. So pretty active body and definitely
Yeah,
need.
I would say so, and I can definitely help you assess and address your weak links. And then what else do you do? Like, do you have a family? Do you have do you do yard work? Like, what does the rest of your life look like?
I'm not working or paddling, walking the dogs, hiking, housework, cooking, cleaning.
Yeah, so everything you can imagine. That's awesome. And you also mentioned that you use the ROM Coach with your app, which is also brilliant, and we really appreciate that. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started, and we're gonna discover your movement age, and we're gonna take the assessment. So the first assessment is the sit and reach. So I've got Coach Laura on the left side of the screen, sitting on the floor with her legs outstretched, and she's just trying to touch her toes, and she's successful. So let's see what you can do, Claire. So just have a seat and sit sideways and just move a little bit to the left. Yeah, just a little bit to the left. Your left. Perfect. All right. And let's see you get at those toes. Yeah, there you go. And it's hard for me to tell, but are your knees fully straight? Do your legs feel relaxed?
They are fully as fully straight as they go with my
Yeah,
muscles.
perfect. Yeah, and do you feel any tension in the hamstrings or the calves or anywhere?
For me, mainly the calves. I think
Okay, yeah, yeah. So you can get at your toes, so you pass the test, but it's good to make note that you feel some tension in your calves, and that is something that you can work on even though you pass the assessment. So I'm just making a note of calves, and I definitely have an idea for that. And the next test is the lift off push up. So this is just any kind of push up you can do, right? If you can do a strict push up with straight legs, go for it. If you can do from your knees, whatever you want to show us. One, yeah, nice. And two, yeah, let's do 4 more. Let's do 4 more. And three, and four, and last one. Yeah, very good. Yeah, so no issues with your upper body strength, no issues with your segmental spine control, like whole body strength, right? It's like a moving plank. I'm watching Coach E do some on the other side right now, and they look identical, maybe even a little bit better. But maybe he can decide. So you can for sure do 5 lift off push-ups. Okay, so the side bridge, and this is a time challenge. So we're going to do your side bridge on the left arm first. And I'm just pulling up my stopwatch.
is it on the elbow
That's
just
right.
now?
That's right. Starting with the left arm. Yeah, and let's get your legs straight. Perfect. And as soon as you lift up, I'll start the clock. And yep, you just stay right up there. There you go. Yeah, perfect. And just lie your top arm on the on your body. Yeah, nice. And I'm just watching your alignment. You could try lowering your hips just a tiny bit. Yeah, there you go. You'll see in the footage, right? We want to see a straight line from the tip of the nose right into the between the toes. And three, two, one, and that's a very good side bridge on your left. And when you're ready, you can switch to the right side. And I've got the clock ready again. And up we go. So good. Very good. And that is 10 seconds. And yeah, let's just drop the hips just a tiny bit. Just a tiny bit. Yeah. There you go. And 10 more seconds remaining. 4, 3, 2, 1, and you nailed your side bridge on the right side. So good. Okay, do you recall what the active hurdler is? Do you remember
No.
that assessment? Okay, no problem. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna just sit with your legs outstretched in that position. Hmm. There you go. And now I want you to position one leg in this sort of typical groin stretch, right? Sort of the traditional hamstring stretch, you know. Yeah, there you go. So the left leg is the target leg. Okay, so you're gonna pick it up. Oh, I guess the camera's reversed for me,
Oh,
but if that is your left leg, it's there. It's the bent one. So now I want you to pick up your left leg and flip it over, right? Pick it up and flip it over. So
right.
which is your left and which is your right? I'm sorry, I think the camera's reversed. So let's just, so is your right leg bent now or your left leg?
Right leg is bent.
Yeah, so let's stick with the left leg. Okay, left leg is bent,
Left leg is straight.
please. Yeah, so I see that, right? And because we're assessing your left side first, I want to make sure that your left leg is bent.
Is bent.
Yeah, so good. So then pick up your left leg and flip it right over.
Like this.
Yeah, so good. That's it. There's your hurdler. And can you do that 4 more times? Yeah, so good. 2. Yeah, minimal lean. Yeah, really good hip mobility and control. And let's do one more. Yeah, that's a very good active hurdler. All right, and let's see you do the same thing with the right leg. Yeah, a little different, right? So even though you pass, I think you can feel that it's
This
a
is
little weaker and there's less control on the right side.
less.
So you can decide. You get to choose your own adventure now. So technically it's a pass, but if you want to, you can force the recommended routine for this issue, which is hip rotation, and you
Yeah.
can say whether or not you want to select a pass or not. So what do you say?
I would say no because I know it's an issue for me.
All right, very good. Okay, segmental sit up. So you're going to start lying flat on your back. And you're just going to curl forward one vertebrae at a time, starting with your chin. Yeah, and try and sit right up without lifting up your legs. And that is very good segmental spine control. And you can go all the way back down. Yeah, so good. Very good. Minimal compensation looks like it to me. So that's a pass for that test. So good. Okay, kneeling. I've already seen you do it, but let's see you turn sideways so we can see what it looks like from the side, right? And just sit right back on your heels. Yeah, there you go. That's it. That's the test, right? That looks very comfortable. I'm assuming that you could stay there for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, very good. Very good. So that's a pass. Okay, 6-way neck movement. So you can return to facing the camera. Perfect. And I want you to um, tilt your head all the way to the right. Yeah, and then tilt it all the way to the left. Yeah, very good. And now turn your head all the way to the right. Yeah, so rotating and then turning to look all the way to the left. Yeah, and then you're going to look all the way up and down. Yeah, so good. So that movement looked very clean and controlled to me, but you can feel more than I can see. So do you notice any issues with any of those movements?
They're just a little crunchy and not as fluid as I would like it to be, especially in this.
Yeah, yeah. So we have a routine for that as well. Okay. Um, so the range of motion is very big, so it's still really good, a healthy pass for me, but we'll definitely find some content for you that you can start working on to help with that issue, okay, that you're feeling, just that crunchiness, right?
Yes.
We all have a little bit of crunch. Necks, there's a lot going on in our necks, and there's always some kind of crunch, but we can minimize it. Okay, the deep squat. So let's see. your deep squat. I like to see it from facing, front facing, and then sideways. So wherever you are, show us your best deep squat.
No pressure.
Yeah, can you go any lower?
No.
Okay, so what I want you to do is turn your toes out. Yeah, there you go. Even more, just a little bit more. There, now try. Now try and let your, yeah, look at that. See, a little lower, right?
Mhm.
Yeah, there's no rule that says you have to have your feet, your toes pointing forward and your feet parallel. So that's one variable for you to play around. So what you did is you just turned your toes out. So feel free to turn them in a couple of degrees and then just find what it feels most comfortable for you. Okay? As you descend. Yeah, there you go. And try and get all the way down there. Yeah, all the way down there. Yeah, very good. Okay, so up you get. So one thing that I suspect from the tight calves, okay,
Yes.
do you have a very thin barbell plate, like a lighter weight, so like a 10 pounds or 15 pounds? No, that's too small. That's too small. Get like a like one that's like an inch to an inch and a half thicker. Yeah, perfect. So just put those on the floor, and then you're gonna put your heels on the plate and your toes on the floor. Do you know this trick?
Yeah. All the time.
Yeah. So here you go. So down and down you go. Yeah, so much lower, right?
Yeah.
So what we're seeing is an ankle mobility issue. Is that your suspicion as well? Like you know that, right?
I feel like as much as I do my ankle stuff, it doesn't seem to stick. Like I feel like I get back to square one again.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So my next question would be, have you done the ROM Coach ankle dorsiflexion stuff?
I'm not, so I need to add that to
Okay, so this is the perfect opportunity. So we've seen what it looks like before you try it. You give
my.
it a go for 4 weeks and then try it again and even film it and then give me the feedback. Like this video will be on YouTube, so you can drop a comment in the video, right? The comments and tell us how it goes, okay? So also even as you're standing there now, turn your toes out just a tiny bit. Right? Yeah. And then you can bring your feet in a little closer too. Bring your heels in a little closer and try that. These are all the different variables. Yeah, wow. So different, right? So now you're accommodating your ankle range of motion and your hip range of motion. And that's okay, right? So um the deep squat is it's a yes from certain aspects, like the hip mobility looks really good, and the spine, right? You're very, very tall, but it's a no from the ankle
Yeah.
perspective. So I'm gonna say yes, but I'm gonna give you that ankle routine to do because that's really the only thing that I think you really need to focus on.
Yeah.
Okay?
Well, I normally do like an ankle stretch before I do a squat, but not consistently. So it'd be good to try it consistently.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Okay, and then you can put those away and then just face the back wall. And what I'd like for you to do is reach over your left shoulder with your left hand. So up and over, right, with the left hand. Yeah. You're actually gonna reach over your own left shoulder with your left hand. So bend your elbow and try and scratch your back. Yeah. And then reach up and try and touch your fingers with your right hand. Yeah, there you go. And you're so close. Is there contact there?
No,
Oh, you're so close. Okay, and then switch sides.
I'm very pinchy on this
Yep.
shoulder.
Okay. Okay. Yep, I got you. And then the other side, there it is. So it's a no for left, but yes for right. And we're definitely going to see some good content for that in the app. Okay. So this next one is one of my favorite assessments. It's a controlled get up. So Claire, all you're gonna do is lie on the floor and then get into a standing position without putting your hand on the floor or your body. Okay, so you have to get up from the floor to standing without touching anything. All right, so lying back and let's see what she decides to do. There are lots of different strategies. So sitting and kind of into a half kneel and standing. So that's one strategy. Can you do the opposite of that? Can you do that on the other side? Can you reverse that? I think you step forward with your left foot. So now step forward with the right foot. Yeah, that's another strategy. What about yeah, yeah. So this technically a pass. You watch the videos. You watch the assessment video, okay? And there are other strategies that I want you to try out, okay? So that's a little bit of fun exploration and learning for you. And yeah, you passed the controlled get up. Like I said, lots of different strategies, but you nailed it. Okay, and that's it for the assessment. So if you're watching along, um, this is not Claire's movement age. It says 45. That's it. It's because that's my age in the app. We don't. Claire didn't tell us her age, and she didn't have to. But this is what the screen will look like when you finish the assessment, and you can see it's there recorded on the screen. I can tap on that little black circle with the white triangle to see the results. So it was the active hurdler right, the hands behind the back left, and then the calves and the neck. Okay, and that is what we're going to recommend to Claire. But first things first, Claire, you could just chill out and come on over to the screen so that you can follow along. Can you see I'm sharing the app on the screen there?
I don't see it from where I am. I see
Okay,
you.
yeah. Yeah, so it's the technology issue that you were having before, but you will watch the video and it will be recorded for you. So I'm
Perfect.
just gonna do this stuff on Claire's behalf and she'll find it later. So the three routines that Claire's gonna work on are hip rotation 1, total shoulder mobility 1, and hip rotation 2. Okay, that's what it likes for you. Okay, that's fine. That's what the app has come up with. Um, and then I want to go back to the assessment and just make sure. Yeah, I'm okay with those three routines. And then we have the ankle dorsiflexion 1 routine, and then a routine called neck pain 1, right?
Okay.
So there are actually 5 routines here. You don't have to necessarily do hip rotation 1 and 2 together, right? Depending on your schedule, depending on the way in which you schedule your preparation sessions for your other workouts, you could add the ROM Coach content to your existing workouts so that you don't feel overloaded. I think that's a problem, right? Especially as a movement coach, we're always like telling our clients like about like the latest and greatest thing and like, oh, you want to do this and you want to do this. And then we've created this almost never ending list of exercises for them to do. So try and be efficient, right? You go through the routines, you see, oh, what am I already doing? What do I want to spend a little bit more time on? Or what is novel? And then that will um, get you going. Okay. So for people watching at home, uh, if we want to see what total shoulder mobility looks like, I just tap on start.
Total shoulder
I
mobility
get an
1
overview
is
from Coach E. I can tap on programming to see the exercises. I can cycle through the individual exercises at
the
my
wall pec
leisure.
stretch.
And I can even schedule them in my calendar. And I've shown that in other videos on the channel. So check out those videos to watch that feature. So now I want to find something very specific for Claire that wasn't in her assessment technically, but we know that it's something that she wants to work on. So I'm going over to the video library. I'm in the routines library now. And I'm going to search for ankle. And I'm going to get a bunch of routines. And the one that I'm looking for is ankle dorsiflexion RSR. And I'll make sure you get
The ankle
that
dorsiflexion.
info, Claire. I'll make sure you get the list so that you don't have to remember. And that will help her, okay, to get as much movement and expand that range so that she can get a little more ankle dorsiflexion and she can sit a little lower in her squats, You'll also notice changes. Did you say that you were running?
Yes.
Yeah, so with this one, you have to be careful because the type of athlete that Claire is, her body's molded to her activities. Okay. And even if she feels a little bit of tightness in her ankles, that might not be such a bad thing, especially if it helps her with her running gait. Okay. So Claire knows this for sure, but a lot of people might not understand this, that our legs are structured like springs. Okay. And if there's a little bit of tension in the calves, they're a little short, so to speak, but not uncomfortably so, that can actually enhance the running depending on the type of runner you are. Essentially, if your ankles are really floppy, you're going to have to work harder to maintain that ankle stability. So I would ask Claire to just run through these exercises, okay? Maybe once a week as preparation for some other exercise, but not necessarily to overdo it because it could be a detriment to her running. Okay, depending on. So what we've done here is we've said, okay, what are the top priorities, right? I'm a swimmer, so I want to have really floppy ankles because I use them in the water like little flippers. Okay, so my running, I do enjoy running, but it's not a top priority for me. Swimming is. So when I'm running, I have to exert much more control to make sure that my floppy ankles don't end up being a problem. Okay. But this is sort of how movement coaches prioritize certain exercises for their clients. Is there anything else that you want me to cover, Claire, before we end the call?
No, I think that's great. I think there's lots of things for me to work on. I kind of see it's always a evolving process, so I'm happy to.
Yeah, it's cool, eh? Yeah, awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining me, and we look forward to reading about your progress in the comments in this video. And yeah, it looks like it's nice and sunny in Vancouver. It is not nice and sunny where I am in Ontario, but it will be tomorrow. So thanks again, Claire.
Okay, thanks ever so much, Joshua.